All right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Here with Howard Leese on April 18th, and guitarist and musical director for the Paul Rogers Band.
Correct.
What exactly does that entail, musical direction? Well, what guitarist entails?
It just has to do with Paul wants to do something, he tells me, and I work it out with the band. I prepare the band, make sure everybody knows everything that we're doing, So doesn't have to go to every single person. He just goes to me, and then I make sure the band knows what's going on, and I'm just basically in charge of making sure the band's ready.
Quarterback for the team?
Quarterback, kind of, yeah. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
All right. Well, something we never hear about is the personal life. We never hear anything about your marriage or family. Is that a concerted effort? Do you have a wife and kids?
Yeah. I have a wife. I have two young sons, 6 and 7, Michael and Daniel. We live in Malibu. I still have my house in Seattle. I have a 106-year-old house in Seattle. I have an 18-year-old daughter, Bonnie, who's a guitar player as well.
Is she in a band of any kind?
She was in a band for a little while there. She's not in a band right at the moment. She's working, but she plays pretty good. She went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood for a couple of years and studied there. So when I'm not doing this, I'm
there you go.
Look at that. Hey, you guys want to keep it down? We're trying to record over here. Shut the fuck up. So when I'm not working, that's what I do. I'm mainly a dad.
Yeah, you got some young ones.
Yeah.
Now, is it a concerted effort to keep that quiet, or?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
No, just nobody's business really.
Now, I've seen you in front of your house with your guitars.
Right.
At the infamous picture.
Right.
How many you got now?
Oh, I don't know. That picture was 50 vintage pieces. Medium rare.
If you could keep one.
Fries. The best guitar I have is here with me tonight. It's on its way to Dallas to the guitar show. It's a real early Paul Reed Smith guitar. First one with the maple top. It's called the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, we were talking about the Paul Reed Smith Dean differential. Early on in your career, I think it was, you hooked up with Dean Solinsky.
Right, yeah. Did play Deans in the 70s.
He made a lot of guitars for you.
Yeah. Still have a few of those. Some of those were like in the hard rocks.
Right.
He's from Chicago, so I had to put a Dean in the Chicago hard rock.
Yeah.
There you go.
Still there.
Yeah. Before we leave, I want to see that PRS.
Okay. My Dean in Chicago is cool because it's in between Eric Clapton and Bo Diddley.
That's very cool.
It's pretty good spot.
Awesome.
But and I have some old Les Pauls and all that good stuff.
Right.
When I bought those guitars, they weren't vintage collectibles. They were just old guitars, basically good guitars. And so I didn't pay that much for most of that stuff. I just had it for long enough. You keep it long enough, it suddenly becomes an antique.
Sure. Well, they're well made too.
But the Golden Eagle is significant because it's the first one with the maple top. It was made from a 300-year-old dresser. So the wood is 300 years old. It's even got a plug where the drawer pull used to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
To open the drawer.
You still got the red Marshalls?
Yeah, I have 6 stacks of red Marshalls. And I actually bought a little red cabinet just the other day. I went to our fan club's president's house for a barbecue in Atlanta. And a guy showed up with an unbelievably rare red Marshall cab, so I told him...
He had to have it.
It's gone. He said he shouldn't have brought it. He knew I was coming. I'm taking it.
You're not using them now, you just rent a back line here?
Yeah, we just used it. We just bring our guitars and a few drums. We don't travel with much, so we keep it real easy. We rent stuff wherever we go, basically. So I have different amps every day.
What did they give here? 900s or the new bar?
I try to get 2000s. I try to get the 2000s because they have a better, clean sound.
Yeah, it sounded really clean back there. That's what I said, too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly clean.
Yeah, good clean sound on those. And then if we don't have those, we get 900s or whatever they have. But generally, more and more we find the 2000s, which are real good amps.
Excuse me, I have it.
Your the proverbial desert island disc. What is it for you?
Wow, the desert island disc.
What album do you take with you?
I would probably take the first Hendrix album. Because it's got heavy stuff, it's got beautiful stuff, it's good all around. Oh yeah, there you
Dear
go.
to the heart.
Yeah, Third Stone from the Sun. If I only had one track, then I'd probably take that. That's a good song. Yeah. That's a tough one though, because some classical music would be good. Be good to take. Something classical. A good blues record would be great. But hopefully that situation won't arise.
Yeah, right.
Pick just one record for the rest of your life, because whatever you pick,
guitar, right?
make you sick after a while. Yeah.
Would the one guitar get irritating?
No.
No.
One guitar's
You
all
like
you
that
need.
guitar,
Only
right?
play one at a time. Yeah. One guitar would be fine.
Any new bands? Any new talent that you see coming up?
Brand new bands? I don't know.
Do you keep up with the scene at all?
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I watch all the bands. We saw a band in England that we like called the Black Keys. It's a pretty cool band. Just two guys, drummer and a guitar player.
Wow.
Real loud and raunchy, kind of bluesy, but interesting because it's just two guys.
Yeah, that's interesting.
My favorite guy I would mention would probably be Eric Johnson. Not enough people know him, and he's the best guitar player that's ever lived.
You think?
I
I got to meet him.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, me and him were pretty good friends. Real nice guy, very quite unassuming guy. But oh my God, what a great player! Well-rounded, can play anything. I really love him. He's fantastic.
I got one of his twins.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I just got one of his twins. Yeah, I got it from him.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I remember one.
the one from the tour. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, Vince is a guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's played the Barracuda lick many times, haven't you?
I got a flanger coming out, the Barracuda flanger. So I'll be ready this month. Yeah, I've been working on it. Company approached me and said, "Do you still have the old original flanger?" It was a custom flanger at the time.
You can never get that right.
I know. We reverse engineered it, and he says it's impossible. We can't get these components.
Did you do it on tape or something? Or was it a foot?
No, it's a real. It's a rack thing that we built.
Yeah.
My tech built it at the time, Rick Erickson, and we're trying to duplicate it. It's impossible now.
Yeah,
We're getting as close as we possibly can, but a lot of those parts are obsolete.
I figured you did it on tape or something.
No, it's just
That was a
pedal.
real,
a real flanger.
secret box.
Yeah, great flanger, and so we've gotten it as close as we can. We've got old Bucket Brigade chips and the whole thing, and we're doing a pedal of it. It'll be coming out.
Cool.
I should have a prototype this month, actually. So.
Opening for Spirit in Canned Heat in the late 60s with the Zoo.
Wow.
It brings back good memories for you.
Yeah, the Zoo. That was me and Mike Flicker, the guy who produced the first 5 Heart records. We're still friends. And
that would be my next question.
We had a good band. We used to play open for all the big guys and then go back to high school on Monday.
Yeah, you were 15?
I was 15, yeah.
Is that where you met Mark Andes?
I didn't meet Mark at the time. We were like little kids, and so we looked up. Spirit was a pretty big band at the time, and it was like, wow.
Right. He was with the band at the time.
Oh yeah, He was in Spirit way back then. We met actually in Japan. We were there with the Beach Boys, Heart, and Firefall.
Yeah.
I was in Firefall, and we were in Kyoto one day, and I went out to lay by the pool, and a couple hundred Japanese people with black hair, and then me and Mark Andes, big tall blonde guys, So naturally we started talking. We got to know each other, and when the position became open, he was the first guy I called.
Great. So you were directly responsible for him.
The girls called me one day and said the band is broken, fix it. They gave me complete control over hiring the 2 new guys, so I got Denny Carmassi.
Musical director
thing. And one of my things I'm most proud of is putting that particular band together, because that band was bigger than the original band. They were very successful, and I felt that choosing those guys was a real key to how that band sounded and how we did.
Denny Carmassi
from Montrose.
A part of one of my favorite rock albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
First Montrose record.
Rock Candy, baby.
I live and die with that.
Everywhere you go, drummers go, Rock Candy.
That's my Desert Island disc, no doubt.
There you go. That's cool.
What's your most memorable moment as a member of Heart? There's got to be a lot of them, I know.
The time the stage collapsed on us in Kyoto. from the rain, and we almost got killed.
Oh my God.
That was very memorable.
I would say.
My parents heard on the radio that we were killed.
Really?
And didn't hear from me for another day or so, and so for a day they had to.
Thought you were done.
They thought we were done.
What?
Because it looked like we were dead from the audience.
Yeah.
Because the stage came down on us, and the truss came down, light truss came down, and it looked like we were all dead.
Somebody got killed that way, right? Curtis Mayfield or someone?
Somebody
Someone get killed that way?
electrocuted.
No, the light crippled him.
Yeah. I think you're right. Broke his back or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's always dangerous. But you know, your first number one, the day they call and say your record's number one, it's a big day.
It had to be big like in '85 because of Passion Works and Private Edition not doing very
as
well.
Exactly.
Then, and especially for you putting Mark Andes and Vinnie Camargo.
Right. Well, the last album by the original band, Private Audition, didn't do as well because the band's sort of falling apart. And then the new band, it takes a while to gel. We didn't get to tour first. We went right to the studio. So that record, you know, materially wasn't quite as good as our normal stuff. And getting a new band to gel took a little time. But then we went on the road. That when we came back in '85 to do the album, it became Heart. We were a band then. That made all the difference.
Did you know that it was you were back on track in
Well,
the recording
I
process?
thought musically we're back on track, but career-wise we're at pretty much our lowest point. And what was great about that record was it was a do-or-die thing. It was like, this record's not a hit, the label's going to drop us, we won't have a deal, we'll be back to playing clubs. And we changed everything. We changed our producer, our management, our everything. And
Ron Nevison.
Ron Nevison in it. And a lot of things changed, and our style of recording changed, and our modus operandi changed. And I think having the new enthusiasm of the people that we brought in really helped. And we just entered like a new phase of how we were sort of reinvented ourselves.
Worked out pretty well.
Our biggest record ever, yeah.
Yep, that's great. How about the early Fisher-Wilson relationships? Did that ever threaten the future of the band?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, whenever there's, when you mix business and personal stuff, it can always be more complicated, you know. And so, yeah, that definitely just about destroyed the band. And that's when that whole support system fell apart. And that's when the girls came to me and said, you know, reinvent the band. Let's get a new band. Let's not give up. Let's not stop now. Let's move forward and see if we can regain our former glory.
You never thought about leaving at that point?
No, I never did. I always
Any
thought
point?
that
After Private Edition or Passion Works?
Nah, because, you know, we had been so successful that even when we were doing shitty, we were still doing better than most bands. You know, so we still had it going on pretty well. And, you know, I always believed in the talent of the band. The Wilson girls are very talented, and Anne's one of the best singers ever.
Yes.
And, you know, all we needed was the right songs and the right kind of approach.
What about magazine? You know, I had the magazine album, the Mushroom Records magazine album in the car, and you were a big part of that album in particular.
Yeah.
A lot of arranging on that and everything. Is that an ugly situation, the Shelley Siegel situation for you? And does that album hold a particular place with you?
Well, it was to us. It was only half an album. We'd only done 4 tracks really, and they weren't finished. And then the whole thing came down. It wasn't really with Shelley, because Shelley and I lived together. And Shelley was a cool guy. And it really wasn't his fault. Just the whole corporate thing. The money started coming in. People started going crazy. You know. But we started recording that record. But then when we found out that people were trying to rip us off, we ended up leaving. They decided they would finish it for us. And so that really made us mad, because, you know, we were serious about our music and our work, and we figured, you know, we need to finish it if anybody. So we had to sue them and go through the whole court thing, and in the end we got the tapes back. We got to finish them, but it's still only half a record for me. It's 4 songs. They grabbed some live tracks, they grabbed some other stuff, and just slapped it together. And we didn't feel that really represented us. You know, so to me it's like an EP basically.
Okay.
You know. And in the meantime we recorded Little Queen, who did Barracuda and that whole thing, and really kind of defined our early hippie gypsy band style with that record. So
yeah, you had the
didn't slow us down really. It just kind of made us mad. And by the time the whole thing was resolved, it was quite a while later. So to me, it seems like our third record really, because we didn't really finish it the way we wanted to originally.
Ask a question. Are you guys trying to get a Zeppelin vibe thing going sometimes back with the mandolins and all that stuff?
Well, absolutely. The band before I joined was a Zeppelin cover band.
Yeah.
I mean, they did 2 45-minute Zeppelin medleys.
Really?
Because we used to do 5 sets a night.
Sorry.
2 of them.
No,
that's
no.
a good question.
Yeah.
2 of them were Zeppelin medleys, 45-minute long medley of Zeppelin stuff, and that's really. Ann will tell you that's really where she changed from being like the chick backup singer with a tambourine to a front man.
She's a huge Plant fan.
And she's a huge Plant fan, so she really learned her rock chops by singing that Zeppelin
I was wondering
stuff.
where you guys played Since I've Been Loving You. You know that Zepp tune? Mm-hmm. I always thought you guys could just kill that to hear Ann
Well, we
sing
did,
that.
we did play a little bit of that stuff when we were recording The Road Home. We had John Paul Jones produce that record, so we did a lot of
Yeah, but I mean, just to hear her
jamming
sing,
stuff.
I like
Yeah.
it makes the hair in my arms stand up just imagining that.
Yeah, she's so powerful.
we did a bunch of the Zeppelin stuff that we didn't put on the record, just at rehearsals, just screwing around. You got John Paul Jones standing there.
So
you know.
yeah,
Did you get to play with him?
Oh yeah. Well, the cool thing was he came in. He goes, "Okay, I want to produce the record. I want to write the string charts."
Yeah.
So they had to okay that with me because normally I write the string charts. But I said, "Absolutely, I love John. Let's see what he can do." And he goes, "But I'm not going to play. That's my caveat. Is I won't play on stage. I don't want to play on the stage. Just be the producer." But then he saw that we had 2 mandolins. He goes, "Oh, I brought my mandolins." And then suddenly we had 3 mandolins.
That'd be great.
And then he started playing piano a little bit. And then we said, "How about, why don't you play bass on the song or two?" And pretty soon he's like half the show. He did half the show.
I forgot about that.
It was really, really great. But the thing that killed us was we recorded for 4 or 5 nights to do that in a little club in Seattle. We did it live with a string quartet. And we told the label, we said, "This is going to be great. You need to film this." And they go, "Oh, we don't have the budget to film it. Just record it, you know, and we'll see what we can do with the record." So we just recorded it. And then we sent them the tapes, and they went, "Oh my God, we got to film this."
Yeah, I got a movie
And we
there.
but by then John was already on to his next project, and so John Paul Jones isn't in the video because we did that a month or 2 later.
Yeah.
After he was already on to
You had
the
couches
next
on the
thing.
stage and stuff.
Yeah. We tried to make it kind of like the little club. We did that in
Yeah.
the theater. We tried to make it as much like the club thing as we could, but we really couldn't reproduce how intimate and cool it was when he was in the band
It's still
playing
cool.
with us. Yeah,
You had
it's still pretty good.
Alone on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
hot.
that's nice.
That was better than
Yeah, I like the acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a shame that we didn't have John Paul on
Yeah.
the video because he was a real big part of that. So
What's your favorite Hard album to listen to?
Brigade.
Oh man.
Richie
My
Zito.
favorite. Yes. Did your band project, the Brigade, have something to do with the title of the album?
No, I just that was my title, and so when
What came first, you know?
well,
Chicken or the egg.
the album
here.
title came first. I thought I was reading a book on the Zulu Wars, and there was a British division that got wiped out to the man, the 13th Brigade. So we had a list. Everybody got to put titles, you know, on a sheet of paper, and that was my contribution to the 13th Brigade. And Ann really liked Brigade, so we just called it Brigade.
Love that album.
So when I went to name my little solo thing, we just thought Brigade. Brigade's a great title.
Excellent.
The original name was Bitch Magnet.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And Party Ninjas.
Party Ninjas.
Yes.
And then by the 3rd or 4th show, we
Brigade is better.
I didn't want to use my name at first. You know, you want to make sure it's going to work. But it's sort of like Mookie Blaylock with Pearl Jam.
Right,
Use a
right.
fake name until you get the kinks worked out.
Right.
So I didn't want to put my name on it until we were sure it was going to work. So at the 3rd or 4th gig, we started calling it Howard Leese Brigade. But
Awesome. Who's the best producer you've worked with, and why?
the best producer I've ever worked with,
Worked with some great ones.
George Martin. We did the Sgt. Pepper's movie, the finale of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club movie with Aerosmith and Frampton and those guys. If you look at the very last scene in the movie,
ELO. Yeah.
just at the very, very end, there's like 100 people singing, and George Martin was there doing that. So I got to work with him just for a day, so I'll have to say him. But you know, Nevison did a great job. He's really tough to work for. very demanding. You know, not a fun guy to work for, but his results speak for themselves.
Obviously.
My personal favorite, I would have to say, was Zito, because he's a guitar player.
Who was?
Richie Zito,
Oh,
who did
okay,
Brigade.
Yep.
Played in Elton John's band, played good guitar, and he and I had an affinity since I was a guitar player, and there's a lot of guitar on that record, a lot of solos, and as far as enjoying doing something, I enjoyed doing that process. Yeah, exactly. He didn't like it though. He just goes, God, it took us. He says, now I know what it's like to make a movie. It took like 8 months to make that record because we were slow. And he couldn't believe how long and laborious it was.
Those days are done, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No kidding, huh? My new record I worked on 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember.
I did it all by myself.
Christy and at Blackstock.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he's still working on it.
yeah. I got something else for you. I'm like, well, I want to hear Howard, but I got Stuart Smith having an earth for you, and he's a big part of that. I said, well, okay.
Yeah.
And that's great stuff. Stuart's a talented guy. I really like good stuff. Joe and Turner on there.
Yeah. There's some good stuff on there.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming back for us at 4:45.
We'll go out there now waiting for us.
Oh, are they?
If you want.
Okay. Well, let me finish this thing. Just got them waiting.
How'd Sammy Hagar become involved with Brigade? He co-wrote The Night,
and
one other tune, I think.
Fallen from Grace.
Okay.
Yeah, just from Denny.
Okay, that's what I figured.
They had been jamming and came up with a couple of tracks. You know, and Sammy sang the demos. It was like, oh God, this is great.
Oh, The Night is all him.
So
it really has this unique sound to it.
So they were just working some time off, working on something together, and we just love those songs. So we figured we could do them.
Excellent. You get tired of playing Magic Man. You see Magic Man on the list.
Yeah, we did. We actually stopped playing it for a number of years.
That's what I've heard, yeah, and you did a reggae version of it. Is there any particular song that you always love to play live, no matter how old it is, never grown old for you?
Yeah, Barracuda's fun.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Because it's physically fun to play.
Yeah.
And all the funny math.
How do you make all the noise at the end?
How do you justify it? Right.
Most of those noises were Roger. He had this weird rack of stuff going on. I'm doing the harmonics and the mellotron.
Okay.
And he's doing the weird spacey.
I knew it was theremin or something like that for a while.
No, it's not theremin. It's all guitar. It was just run through harmonizers and all kinds of crazy crap that he had. It never worked on stage.
Yeah.
And it was always just like break. You just stare at it and go, no, because you don't know what it is. It's a whole rack of junk.
Right. But it had a nice effect.
Yeah. We'll put on the record. Yeah. But that record's cool because it's live. There's nothing overdubbed except that stuff.
Yeah.
And the mellotron.
I can never figure that out.
But the track is live. Cool.
Hart's being honored at the VH1 Rock Honors. May 12th show. You'll be there.
No. Don't think so.
That's a crime.
I know, it stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a crime.
I'm hearing from the fans that are just going, because they're having their current road band play it, none of which had anything to do with any of those records.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the fans are crying foul, and they think it stinks. I think it stinks.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Is that something with Ann and Nancy? Or,
apparently.
Okay.
Just when they didn't ask him, remember?
Okay, yeah. See, I just see
So
you
to
as...
VH1 thing, this is fine, but they dare not try that. When we get in the Hall of Fame, then I'm going to bitch.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it stinks. And so does their new band.
Yeah.
So, there you have it.
How do you feel about meeting fans and signing autographs at the end of the shows? And, just when you got a group of people, you play in the big arenas early on. You know, you have a huge crowd by the front of the bus. Not everybody takes to that kindly.
I sign each and everything. Absolutely owe those kids everything we have. Those kids bought me that guitar, they bought me my Ferrari, they bought my houses for me. I love those kids. I don't understand how.
Same?
Not really.
Okay. Because when I saw you guys along, well.
Yeah, it amazes me that people will, I don't want to, You know,
they were straight on
the great
the bus.
unwashed. Yeah, that's
And I didn't know whether they,
that's
they
bad
had
because
somewhere to go.
those kids are the reason that you have a bus.
I mean, it's great to hear you say that. Because I was one of those kids at the time, and
I hate that.
it was disappointing. I understood because I love them dearly, just for what they've given me musically. But it was pretty a little bit disappointing.
You obviously got the message your friends were out there. So
Yeah.
Somebody to tell you.
Okay, let's talk about solo.
Okay.
I hear Mike Reno, Loverboy.
Yeah, no, he never ended up coming through for me.
Okay. Robbie Steinhardt.
No, he never did either. He left Kansas,
Yeah.
and it's been hard to get a hold of him since then. I'll tell you who I do have though. I have Jolene Turner sings a song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bobby Kimball from Toto is going to sing a song. Paul Rogers sings a song that we did together. I have a big ballad that I'm trying to get to Steve Perry right now. Right now the vocal is Jimmy Jameson from Survivor who's singing it, but that may end up just being the demo. Hoping to get Steve Perry to sing on it. I found there's a blues track that this band did in my house in Seattle, and that's got a guy named Andrew Black. He's a blues singer in Atlanta, really good singer. I kind of want to mix it up. Most guys, the label and Stewart are going, want to have these stars and stuff. And I go, well, that's fine if it's musically appropriate, but I kind of want to have some undiscovered guys and kind of want to introduce guys that I think are good.
Which would be beneficial for the Black Star mission.
So got to be guys? So got to be guys?
No, we have Deanna Johnston from the NXS, Rockstar NXS show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote a track with me that her and Jolene sing. It's a duet called Hot to Cold. And two of them, it's not a lovey-dovey duet. The two people are pissed at each other and they're yelling, God damn it, I hate this when you do this and I hate this. Well, I hate it when you do this, It's good. It's spicy. So she's on there, Deanna Johnston, Paul Rogers, Jolene Turner, Bobby Kimball, and in my opinion, the star of the record is the guy who plays drums on it. Mark Schulman.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
The guy's played with everybody.
His resume is the LA phone book, basically.
Yeah. I just did a feature on somebody by the name of Lynn Carey Saylor. Skip Saylor's wife. Skip Saylor, producer in the LA area. And he plays for her on her album.
He's ridiculous.
It's great.
He's great.
I mean, it's really good.
So my record is just him and I play all the music, and then I have a few singers. But basically, I'm playing everything on there but the drums and singing lead.
Cool. Now, did you write this stuff?
Wrote everything on the record except I did a cover of Somewhere from West Side Story.
Is that strings or a synth? We were trying to guess coming up here.
Yeah, it's all keyboards.
Is it?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Did you ever think about bringing in a small string section for that?
Sure, love to do it. Love to do that, but I can get pretty close with my
Yeah, we
keyboards.
couldn't tell.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But a lot of the tracks are power trio and orchestra, which is kind of an odd
That's cool.
thing. But I have it with guitar, bass, and drums, just a three-piece, and then an orchestra, and you go back and forth.
That's because it had everybody
It's cool.
taking
We're gonna play. Actually, not tonight. We're doing Curtis's song, but we've been playing one of my tracks. Oh, and I have this one more guy on the record. I need to tell you about him. There's a song called The South Summit. You haven't heard this one yet. And the singer is Duke Fame.
Duke Fame.
Duke Fame. You know the movie Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
You know the scene where they get to the hotel, the rooms aren't there, the gig is canceled, and they're just as low as they can go.
Yeah.
Then they see their old singer is playing at the Enormo Dome, surrounded by guys, and they go, wanker, he's a wanker. That guy.
Okay. Wow.
He sings lead on one of my tracks.
Is it going to be like a parody thing, a whole Spinal Tap thing?
What's that?
Is it going to be like a whole parody Spinal Tap song?
A fun song?
No.
It's a
It's a
serious
serious song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, he's actually a good singer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of my homage to Robin Trower, that song. The section that he sings is a real heavy Trower kind of
I know the guy's selling the double neck bass right now for Big Bottoms.
Yeah, big
BC
fan.
Rich, the guy's got the cases and Spinal Tap, the whole thing.
Nice.
Wow.
That'd be so cool.
They asked me if I wanted that big red cabinet that they had, the Marshall cabinet. It was
Oh,
like
you
20
had
feet
those,
tall.
yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know where to put it.
Oh.
Couldn't take it.
Oh, shame on you.
I was the first guy to ever play live with Spinal Tap. I jammed with them. Me and Cantrell from Alice.
Yes.
They played in Seattle on the Break Like the Wind tour, and we got to go up and play with them.
That's very cool.
That's another defining moment.
Yeah,
Playing with
It is
Spinal
pretty
Tap.
cool. You don't take it so serious.
And the cool thing was half the people in the audience didn't really know if it was a joke or not, which is such a funny thing, you know.
Right. You
It's
just
a comedy
expect it
act,
to
but
be
it is a
funny.
rock band, and
Right.
half the people were rocking. The other people were going, yeah, it's kind of funny. A lot of people didn't get it.
Yeah, well, Rolling Stone had Nigel or something in their top 100 guitarists or
Yeah.
something of all time.
See Nigel doing the VW commercials now? The Spirit?
Oh,
So great.
man.
Love it.
It's cool.
Some funny stuff. But Duke Finn was on my record.
Oh, great. That'll be great to hear. Finn McCool.
Yeah, wow.
Tell me about that.
A bunch of crazy Irish people.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I noticed you and Stuart
Played on the record. They gave me a bottle of Jameson Irish whiskey
Awesome.
for payment.
Very
Nice
cool.
bunch of people. Really good band. Real good music, and really Irish. You know, red hair. They look like right out of Braveheart, only not Scottish. They're Irish. But yeah,
Wow.
so we lived up there. We just did our live record in Glasgow. Just came out. Paul's live
Yeah,
record.
right.
Live in Glasgow.
Yeah, that came out Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
and you're playing on. You were part of the band on that.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Excellent.
I've been doing this for 10 years. This gig.
Yeah, from '98.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was-
98.
yeah, right.
Starting our 10th year. Yeah.
When'd you first think about doing a solo album? Was it early on in the Heart years?
No, I didn't think of it even then. It was, when they started Black Star and they wanted to have somebody else on the roster besides Heaven and Earth, they asked me if I'd do a record. I had, I don't. I'm busy enough. I don't really want to do it. And I thought about it. I go, something I could do at home that would be kind of neat. And I thought I should commit to doing it because otherwise I'll be too lazy. I won't do it.
Something you could take 3 years to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, we did a deal, and I'm glad I did it because I'm real proud of what I've done. So.
I'll tell you what I've heard. It's,
Sounds cool. We heard in the car.
Oh, good.
phenomenal.
I like the West Side Story.
Thank
Are you
you.
using Evo on that or something?
No, it's and there's no slide either.
And yeah, we were trying
It's
to...
all harmonics.
Really?
Yeah, harmonics and pitching
Yeah, with the
pitching
drum.
whammy. Yeah.
We're trying to guess.
And we played it. We learned it. We learned it, but it's too slow for the set.
Yeah.
But we did learn it. It's I never envisioned trying to play any of that stuff live because it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah. I mean, how do
But,
you get it to happen?
Yeah. But we voiced it for guitars. I mean, Curtis and I.
You got some backwards effect thing?
Yeah, a lot of backwards guitar.
What was that? Was you like one of those stop boxes that do that?
Well, I've always done backwards stuff. The first sound you hear on the very first Heart record on Magic Man, that's backwards guitar. There's backwards on every Heart record.
Yeah.
All that.
But you didn't turn the tape over or nothing.
Yeah, that's turning the... Well,
Did you really?
on the Heart records, that's turning the tape over.
Yeah.
But then I had somebody build me a machine that
That's like
does
the
it.
Hendrix thing. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Love backwards.
Yeah, I get the vibe.
Love backwards. So, there's backwards all over my record. But,
Yeah, I picked it up coming here. It was very hot.
yeah.
Did you ever wish you had more of the spotlight? Ann and Nancy in front of you. You're always Howard Leese of Heart.
Yeah.
Um,
One of my potential album titles for my record is called Secret Weapon, because that's what they always used to call me in the press. And their secret weapon is this guy who actually does most of the recording that you never heard of. The thing with that, I never really did personally. We were so famous that it was plenty. I'm plenty famous, people who know the music know who I am and stuff. But Ann and Nancy really never gave the band much credit. You never heard them speak about the band members. They're always talking about something they were doing or their Dream Friends project or whatever it was. They never really appreciated or gave the band its due, I thought, all along in the press. And so that's one of the reasons. I mean, they never really promoted us at all. It was always... all the press and stuff was always focused on them, which is fine because it worked.
Well, right.
But it was a little bit funky, especially in the 80s when, the band was really the driving force behind it, and the girls really weren't the leadership at that time. And we had a lot to do with how successful we were then. You know, really kind of guided the whole thing for a while there. And so, yeah, it irks me a little bit. Personally, I don't really care. Being famous is overrated.
Yeah, that's right.
People say you get rich and famous. They say you get famous first, then you get rich. Being rich is much better than being famous.
Right.
But no, we were so famous that it was. I got plenty of spotlight. It was plenty of spotlight for me. But on a musical level, it kind of bothered me that the band never got the credit, how important the band was to the whole overall thing.
Yeah, I mean, and then 85 and 86 and those years were the weight gain years too for Ann and more of the image thing.
Yeah, and the MTV era and video era.
Videos,
all that.
Yeah. It seemed like it became a problem. I thought possibly that band would be move more to the front at that point, but it still it remained the same.
It's a shame too because it's so obvious. That's the easy way to go. You know, we have a pretty blonde girl. You know, let's put her in the front. Does she play on the record? Not really.
Right.
But you know, so
it's simple.
But that was kind of the line of least resistance for. I thought it was kind of easy.
Yeah.
But
it worked, I guess.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Let's just say I had a bigger percentage of the money than I had of the spotlight.
Right.
I was fine with that.
And like you say, you know, the fame and fortune. Fortune is a little better than the fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's important the older you get.
Yeah.
The pension and the insurance plan is
exactly what I
greatest
say.
in
You know,
this
I worry about
business.
different things than I used to.
Yeah.
House insurance and education for the kids.
Education for the kids. Exactly. I'm big on that one.
Hundreds of thousands of interviews. You've done this over and over. Thank you for taking the time with me. But
my pleasure.
is there a particular question that you've never been asked that you wanted to be asked?
Well, generally, the only stuff that I really agreed to do by myself would be technical stuff, the guitar magazines. I just did a long interview with a guy who was writing a book about producers and all the hard recording sessions, and he had specific technical questions about what's this, how did you record this, what amps did you use, all that stuff. That was sort of my forte.
When's that coming out?
Oh, I don't know.
I gotta read that one.
Yeah, I should have it. He did real in-depth. He talked to Flicker, he talked to Nevison, he talked to Richie Zito, he talked to everybody.
Wow, that's great.
It's all about our recording.
In the 80s, I was in partnership with my wife for 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I copied all your stuff.
Very good.
I mean, it's funny here now. I gotta thank you. You helped buy my house.
Well,
The first down payment for our first house in Lombard came from copying your shit.
the 70s records are a 410 Bassman and a Telecaster.
Yeah, you still got the telly with the humbucker?
Yeah. Still have it. And the Bassman, too.
In the neck, yeah.
And then the 80s records are the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, before we leave, I know you gotta go. I just want to look at
And
it.
the Soldano number. I have the second.
Soldanos?
I have the second Soldano I've ever made. So that's the one that's on all the hard records.
That's why
in
it's
the
so
80s.
solid. Yeah.
Now you got into making your own too.
Yeah, now I make my own guitars.
HML?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, there's only 16 of them. I've been doing it for 10 years and there's 16 guitars. So
Do you make them yourself?
well, I designed them and I made the first couple, made the first 3. I have a builder, Jack Pimentel, in Seattle that I build them with. But I work with the customer, usually friends of mine, who like my guitar, who want something like it. I make each one individually for the person.
Excellent.
Very cool. Bill Gibbons has one.
Yeah, right.
Mike Soldano has one.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
They're really nice guitars.
What do you use? You use the PRS? You go around here when you tour?
I use either Les Paul because it costs off Jimmy Page,
Yeah.
Mick Wells. So most of Paul Rogers stuff I use a Les Paul, but I do use the PRSs, and I have the Eagle with me because, like I said, I'm going to Dallas for this big special. Big guitar show. They're having a first of everything display this year. The first Marshall amp, the first Fender
the first
guitar,
PRS.
first everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big, significant. The Smithsonian is coming.
Wow.
To photograph it, so it's like a big deal. So Paul called me and asked me to bring the Eagle, and I said, "Well, I'm in Houston the night before."
Perfect.
Are you going to play it?
Oh yeah, I play it every night.
Do you?
Play it on
really?
this tour.
We'll see
Yeah,
it tonight.
yeah. Great. And I'm going to play with Paul's band on Saturday night in Dallas somewhere. Paul Smith's band.
Awesome.
I was there last year. I should have gone. I was in town for a convention, and I didn't go to that show.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
I know, everybody talks about it.
Guys go from all over the world.
Yeah, that's big.
Guys walk around with suitcases full of money, handcuffed to their wrists. Cool.
Wow. Here's my favorite question, and one of the last. Put yourself in Paul Rogers' shoes. Brian May passes away. Freddie Mercury is alive, and asks you to take Brian's spot.
Yeah.
You take that, John? Huge shoes to fill.
Yeah, big shoes. Well, and Brian's got such a unique sound, a unique style. It would be challenging.
Like Freddie.
But like Freddie. But yeah, I could do it because I like the music. I love the songs, some really good songs. And so if you like the music, then it's some. But I love Brian. I've known Brian since '76, so I can't even imagine that. But that would be a tough one to do. He's got such a unique sound. But I had to get my Kossoff thing together to do this gig.
Yeah, right.
I was always Free's my favorite band of all time, and so I already had a pretty good grip on it. But when I found out I was going to work with Paul, I specifically went back and went through all the songs. I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and so it's been great for me because I love that band. And when we went to England last year, it was an all-free concert pretty much because the free DVD had come out in Europe, and so we were there to promote that. So we did pretty much all free. We did a lot of songs that Paul hadn't done since the original band, songs he hadn't played live in 30 years. So
you do Wishing Well tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Fire and Water.
Yeah, we don't do Fire and Water. We've done Fire and Water every year except for this year. Yeah, it's one of our favorites, but we're not playing it on this set tonight, which is kind of funny, but we normally do play that, yeah.
I got to hear Wishing Well.
Oh,
Wishing Well's good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great classic.
Wow. It's amazing stuff.
Great stuff.
Little word association. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We're coming. The thing is, for me, who gets there first, me or Paul?
Yeah.
He's way overdue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're coming. We're going to get in. I know we'll get in.
Oh, you know you
But Paul's more overdue than I
I know he
am.
wasn't in.
You're not in yet.
No, he
Bad
could get
Company's
in
not
many
in.
times.
Yeah, he could get in for the
Free
firm.
and
Bad
Company.
I mean, if they put the Sex Pistols in, give me a break.
Yeah.
I think Free better get in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Grandmaster Flash made it. Don't worry about it, Howard. You'll be all right.
So that's the thing. Paul did the Rock Honors last year with Queen. I'm going in this year, so he beat me to that one. I'm trying to beat him to the Hall of Fame.
What are you doing with Rock Honors?
My band's getting in this year.
Oh, really?
Hard, Genesis, ZZ Top, and Ozzy.
That's lineup.
Cool.
Oh, that's what you were saying, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm not going.
They're the road band?
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody... What?
Yeah, it's a crime. It really is.
I know. Everybody's still alive. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was their call. It's a shit call, but whatever.
Yeah, right. Talking about that. Sue Ennis.
Okay, cool. Or you can wait if you want.
German literature major. Very literate, smart girl. Helped with the lyrics
There's not much to
through
do
a
now with
certain period.
Had a lot to do with the later writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They would go to San Francisco and stay at the Fairmont on Nob Hill and write tunes. 3 of them. Yeah, she's good. Smart girl. I like her.
Fans.
Lifeblood of the whole thing. Without the fans, you're just playing in your garage.
Yep.
Can't do it without the fans.
Dick Dale.
Dick Dale. A good friend of mine. Just talked to him on the phone. First guy I saw live that killed me. Came out with that Metal Flake Strat upside down and went on a low string and I went, oh, something's tingling. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
No,
was,
Dick, big influence on me.
well, he's still doing it. I mean,
Still
he
doing
is
it with his
just-
son Jimmy.
He is, yeah.
He played at my when I signed the deal. We had a party in L.A. and Dick played. Dick and Jimmy played.
Like 70?
60 something, 63 maybe. I was 15 when I saw him. He just about killed me.
Well, and he redid like the Fender amps too. I
Yeah.
mean, he
Yeah,
re-rigged them and everything.
Yes, and he still has his original single Showman and reverb unit, the same one he had then. Still playing that.
I mean,
Same guitar
he's,
too.
he's almost metal, that guy. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Well,
know,
he claims to be the
just rocks.
godfather of heavy metal, but it's not true. Surf music is not heavy metal.
Yeah.
If he was the godfather of surf music,
Who's the godfather of heavy metal? Come on, Howard, give me the right answer. This is sacred to me. Don't disappoint me now.
Hendrix? Oh. I don't know. Heavy metal?
Sabbath? No?
I don't know.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
I would say.
Page.
You think?
Page.
Him and I disagree.
Even though they had
It wasn't as dark.
more than
It was
metal.
more blues, I would say,
Yeah.
for me.
But some of it was
Even though
pretty metal.
Sabbath started off as earth and blues.
Yeah.
That was dark. It had that...
Well, if you're thinking of like Judas
kinda-
Priest, Iron Maiden kind of metal, probably Sabbath would be the forefathers. But there were guys probably before that too.
Yeah. Retirement.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first thought on that?
Well,
Oh, cool.
when I got finished playing with Hart, and I did a couple of tours with Adam Wilson, and we stopped doing that, I thought, cool, I'm done. I never wanted to play live much anyway. I was always a studio guy.
I get to know my wife now.
And I thought, great, I'm going to retire now. And it's my 10th year now. So I was going to retire then.
All right, now salute.
And then I got this call.
Shot 3 times.
He goes, Jeff goes,
Where at?
if you could play with anybody in the world, who would you want to play with? You're still going to play. Who would it be? I go, Paul Rogers. He goes, bingo! So if it was anybody else than Paul, I would have said no. Anybody else. Elton John band, I don't care.
And this works.
But Paul asked me to do it,
Oh, there you go.
and I've been doing it with him. And I told him many times, when he's done, I'm done.
Wow. Well, I hope
This is my last gig. I'm not going to play it
How
after
often do you
this.
guys go on the road?
Every year.
But for how long?
they do 30
We used to do 30, 40, 50 shows a year.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we do 20 or 30. Not that many.
Okay. So you're with your kids.
It's part-time. It's just in the summer, just no weekends, basically.
How come
So,
you work so much?
so it's very comfortable for me.
Paul's always working, right?
Yeah, but he's trying to slow down,
I
but
saw him with Queen last year.
yeah.
I think we're going to see him with Queen pretty
Yeah,
soon.
they're recording.
There. Okay. That would be a question for him.
You saw that, Jim, right?
Oh yeah,
That was
twice.
great.
Oh, great.
I couldn't believe it.
He did a great job. Yeah. Yeah. They played again in Anaheim a couple months later. I went to that one too.
That's all I got for you. I could sit here all day with you.
Well,
I
watch
know
the
you
show,
got things to
and then
do.
if it comes to mind, we'll talk after the show.
All right.
We can finish up.
Would you mind signing some stuff?
No, bring it up.
I was going to bring my son's guitar.
Oh, you should have.
I didn't want to be the giddy schoolgirl.
I'm around.
But like I say, you've contributed a great deal to me.
I don't drink. This is
Let's see some more pictures.
That's a great album. It really is.
You gotta remember, I did security for you on that album at the Rosemont.
Really?
I was your
5 million in the U.S.
I was backstage
Awesome.
security for you.
Well, here's been shot 3 times and stabbed 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Tough guy.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. I got silver too. Whatever works better.
basically.
What the hell?
Run over once, too.
Oh. No, leather pants.
That's a cool car. No, making fun of that.
I'm wearing like $10,000 worth of clothes for sure. Yeah.
Well, I like the hair and the
happening.
makeup.
Yeah, we're happy.
You
Stuff.
high
You on the
gloss.
front? Front or back?
Yeah, silver project.
That's the headstock signing pen.
Well, the guitar that I got from my son is a Dean. It's just a little simple thing, but it's silver. So
Very cool. Let's go see that guitar.
Yeah, if you don't mind, thank you.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
for taking my...
So,
letting me waste your time.
thanks so
to
much,
see.
Howard.
My pleasure, guys.
my legs on my landed on the rolled out.
Right.
Nice meeting you. You too. Thanks for doing security for us. Oh, God, that was so many.